Hi, good morning. Welcome to our joint agency press conference for Operation Walk in the Park. I'd like to, we'll get this started, and I'd like to call our speakers, starting with Chief Larry Gonzalez from the Riverside Police Department.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. The Riverside Police Department began a homicide investigation on December 22nd of 2020 after 32-year-old Cedric Dempsey was found deceased in Boardwell Park, located in the 2000 block of Martin Luther King Boulevard in our city. Detectives from our robbery, homicide, and gang units were able to connect with Mr. Dempsey's murder, or were able to connect Mr. Dempsey's murder to a local criminal street gang. They also discovered suspects from that murder were possibly related to murders being investigated by the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. Our agencies began a coordinated investigation with Riverside County District Attorney's Office, California Department of Justice Special Operations Unit, and the California Highway Patrol. The joint effort included multiple search warrants, neighborhood canvasses, witness interviews, forensic examination of evidence, reviewing surveillance footage, and other investigative actions. I'm happy to report that on May 21st of 2022, we arrested Arthur Akins for Mr. Dempsey's murder. On May 25th, and throughout this investigation, personnel served search warrants and arrest warrants not only in the city of Riverside, but also in the city of Moreno Valley, Corona, Rialto, Grand Terrace, San Bernardino, Victorville, Hesperia, and Alhambra. These investigative operations have been supported by our SWAT team, along with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, and Corona's SWAT teams as well. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department Gang Task Force, Riverside District Attorney's Office Gang Impact Team, and Riverside County Sheriff's Department Special Enforcement Team assisted in this effort as well. In addition to Mr. Akins' arrest, some of the highlights of the investigation include the following. On March 30th of 2022, detectives learned a gang member was in possession of a firearm and conducted a surveillance. They attempted to stop him and watched him discard the firearm. Fortunately, were able to safely arrest the suspect and charge him with being a felon in possession of a firearm. On April 1st of 2022, detectives learned that a gang member was in possession of a firearm. After a vehicle pursuit, officers were able to safely arrest the suspect and charge him with being a felon in possession of a firearm. On April 7th of 2022, detectives served a search warrant at a residence in our community after receiving information the suspect was manufacturing and selling firearms to gang members. Detectives recovered 11 rifles and shotguns, 28 handguns, about 2 pounds of fentanyl pills, and over 50 pounds of marijuana. 5 of the handguns were ghost guns, and the detectives also recovered a 3D printer to manufacture those. On May 4th, 2022, detectives arrested a gang member for pimping. On May 13th of 2022, detectives received information a gang member was transporting a large amount of narcotics. The suspect was arrested in the Adelanto area with about a half a pound of crack cocaine. On May 17th of 2022, detectives served a search warrant at a residence in Riverside and recovered a loaded, stolen handgun. Mr. Akins was also in possession of a handgun when he was arrested on May 21st. Yesterday, May 25th, 2022, multiple agencies served search and arrest warrants throughout the region. They made 9 felony arrests and recovered the following evidence, which is over here: 10 handguns, 3 rifles, 2 pounds of heroin, a half a pound of cocaine, a half pound of meth, 200 MDMA pills, which are ecstasy or Molly, 8 pounds of marijuana, and nearly $66,000 in cash. Overall, this extensive long-term joint investigation resulted in 17 felony arrests, which includes Mr. Akins' arrest for murder. They also received a total of 55 firearms, which can no longer be used to harm our community. I can't stress enough the dedication of our investigators in this. These detectives literally spent thousands of hours on this case. Secondly, this is truly a collaborative effort, and we could not be more thankful for the professional working relationship we have with these agencies standing beside us today. We appreciate that, and now I'd like to invite Chief Deputy Misty Reynolds from the Riverside Sheriff's Department to come up and speak.
Good morning, and thank you for taking the time to attend this press conference. As Chief Larry Gonzalez mentioned, this was a lengthy collaboration with several agencies. I'd like to speak to the homicide involved within the Riverside County Sheriff's jurisdiction, and that was in the city of Moreno Valley. That incident took place on June 7th of 2020. And probably the most critical aspect of that incident is that we later learned that there had been a shooting in a different jurisdiction, and this particular shooting was the result of retaliation amongst gang members. Unfortunately, they wrongfully targeted our victim. Mr. Kevin Henderson was a 43-year-old father. Just moments prior, he had been holding his 3-day-old son. He was sitting in the front porch of his home. I can't stress enough the impact that gangs and gang violence have throughout our communities. I very much appreciate the collaboration that we have with Riverside Police Department, the Department of Justice, as previously mentioned, and the DA's office. And I'd like to just send a special thanks to Riverside PD, because at the time we investigated this and when it starts, it's not whose jurisdiction this is. They handled this murder as if it was their own in their own city. So at the end of the day, we all have that same mission, and I just want to say thank you and appreciate that. So I would like to now invite District Attorney Mike Hestron.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Hestron. I'm the Riverside County District Attorney. I want to start by thanking our partner agencies, both local and statewide, for the collaboration and the incredible investigative work that was done here. These kinds of operations are critical to keeping our community safe. We have a choice in law enforcement. We can wait for crimes to occur and then prosecute, or we can go out and be proactive and get guns out of the hands of criminals. And in Riverside County, I don't think there's anywhere else that does it quite like we do it. We have a great level of cooperation and collaboration from all of our partner agencies, again, including our statewide agencies. And when you look at the guns on the table behind us, and you think about that each of these guns was in the hands of a gang member, a criminal, you begin to understand what not only our police officers face on the streets, but also our regular citizens and the threat that comes from these gangs and from these guns that were taken. So I want to just give you some information. The District Attorney's Office, Riverside County, has filed cases against Arthur Akins III and Darnell Tate. Both of these cases are identical in what we filed. We filed murder charges, first-degree murder charges, use of a gun allegation and personal discharge, and also a special circumstance in each case of murder murder for the benefit of a criminal street gang. And so, as currently filed, these individuals face life in prison without the possibility of parole. At this time, it's my honor to introduce to you California Attorney General Rob Bonta.
Good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. And first and foremost, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the men and women of the Riverside Police Department, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, and the Riverside County District Attorney's Office. Appreciate the collaboration, the teamwork, the partnership. Our local law enforcement officers, they put their badge on their chest every day, not knowing what harm may come their way. These officers deserve our praise, they deserve our gratitude, and above all else, they deserve our support. And I want to give my personal thank you and gratitude for all the great work that you did in this operation and all of the other work that you do every day. That's why the California Department of Justice is here with the Riverside Police Department and the Riverside Sheriff's Department. They requested support earlier this year to assist in this investigation, and our Special Operations Unit was happy to jump into action, to partner, to collaborate, to work together. The Special Operations Unit is a collaborative effort housed within the Department of Justice between our office and the California Highway Patrol that provides statewide enforcement expertise for combating violent career criminals, gangs, and organized crime groups. Thank you to this team and everyone at DOJ who contributed to today's takedown, including a few individuals that are here with me today. A special shout out to Special Agent in Charge, Joe Somanek, as well as Special Agent Supervisor Samuel Aguilar. I'm really proud of my team. Appreciate the work that they do every day. We have had the honor and the pleasure of working with other law enforcement partners throughout the state on multiple takedowns. We have others that we are working on now, and I appreciate our team and our partners every time. Above all else, this operation is a public safety success story. As you've heard, 17 felony arrests, 2 pounds of fentanyl, 2 pounds of cocaine, 2 pounds of heroin seized, 55 firearms no longer on our streets to do harm to our communities, an illegal ghost gun manufacturing operation shut down, a shooting prevented, 2 murders solved, traffickers put behind bars. This isn't the plot of a Netflix crime show. These are real arrests. These are real seizures. These are real takedowns that have made the streets and neighborhoods of Riverside safer. Tonight, Riverside families can sleep a little easier because of this operation, because of collaboration. This operation proves that we are best when law enforcement works together to solve crime and takes violent criminals off our streets. There's nothing that we can't do if we do it together. I think we're stronger and more effective, more impactful when we collaborate, when we partner. As your Attorney General, as our state's Chief Law Enforcement Officer, I vow that we will keep at it. There is more to do. This is an important success, important to lift up and to highlight, but there is more work to do. This is DOJ's 5th gang takedown in the last year. And I promise all those engaging in organized crime, threatening our neighborhoods, you're next. You can bet we are working on takedown number 6, on takedown number 7, number 8, and well beyond. At the Department of Justice, we believe every child in Riverside and every child across California deserves to grow up in a safe community, in a safe home, a safe neighborhood, without the ills of violence, without deadly shootings, and without crime. Today's multi-agency operation is a step forward for this reality right here in Riverside. And we're going to continue this work, continue to dismantle gangs, invest in efforts to reduce gun violence, break cycles of crime, build trust between communities and law enforcement, and use every tool we have to hold those accountable who commit serious crime. Because for all of us, public safety is job number 1, number 2, and number 3. Thank you again to all our law enforcement partners in Riverside. Appreciate the partnership, appreciate the work you do every day. Together, we're putting public safety first, and together, we'll keep at it. Thank you.
This is going to conclude our press conference. I just want to end by saying I did thank all the investigators involved in this, but I especially want to thank our forensic specialists and our crime analysts, which is a huge non-sworn component of this investigation. We would not be here today doing this if we didn't have their assistance. So I especially want to thank them. They put in all the hours that our sworn folks do, and like I said, we couldn't do what we do without them. There will be some folks around afterward to answer any questions, and have a nice day. This concludes our conference. Thank you.